What if stillness could be the key to transformation? In a world that rushes, that tells us to go, 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 Yin Yoga invites us to pause.
Mm.
And there are so many benefits to this wonderful world of Yin Yoga. And I'm really excited to have a conversation about it. We've been on a deep dive into Yin Yoga. We've been in Yin Yoga land and it's
Yes.
been amazing. What's your favorite thing about Yin?
Really, I think it's the way it makes me feel when I practice. That's got to be my personal favorite
Mm,
thing, that it can take me from this really anxious, stressed, uh, flighty kind of feel to really get me grounded, to feel calm, to feel relaxed.
mm,
And I mean, you don't even need to do that full hour practice to feel that, to connect to those feelings. And I think that's the best part, that it's so accessible,
mhm.
that you can literally take 10 minutes of this yin way of movement and energy and change how you feel.
So true.
Yeah.
After every Yin Yoga class I teach, Emma, uh, we'll finish and we'll do the last final breath. And I'll say, like, how do you feel? And she'll just say, I need more yin. She'll just be reminded every single time, like, why yin yoga is so good. Because it's so easy to not prioritize yin. Because, as I mentioned, in a world we're told to go, 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 go. In a world where faster is better, bigger is better, sweatier is better, yin really falls to the bottom of the list. And this is the conversation we're having with you to maybe try and place yin maybe at the top or maybe second on your list anyway. Let's talk about yin yoga in how it's different to other styles of movement and also other styles of yoga. Because Paul Grilly, one of the pioneers of yin yoga, suggests that there are two main differences when it comes to yin yoga. And that is we do it with the muscles relaxed. So yin yoga is a yoga style where the muscles are relaxed, or we
Hmm.
try anyway to keep the muscles relaxed. And we hold the poses for a long time. That's anywhere between 2 to sometimes 20 minutes for a pose. Now, I've never taught a yin yoga class with a 20-minute hold, but it is something that is talked
Yes.
about in the yin yoga text. So it is possible.
And if you've never practiced yin yoga, please know that we're not holding warrior two for 20 minutes. Don't freak out yet, okay?
Yeah, these poses are usually on the ground. There's one. There's one.
Mm.
One pose where you are in a forward fold. And we call that the dangle or dangalasana or dangling. That's the only pose where you would be, I would say, standing. And of course, it is done in that more passive feeling of forward folding and letting everything relax.
Mm.
So just know that all of the poses are close to the ground. So holding a pose for anywhere between 2 to 20 minutes is not an act of strength in muscular strength. It is an act of strength in the mind, though.
Oh, yes. And this is really where sometimes the struggle is for so many
Mm-hmm.
people, because again, we'll mention we're in this world, go, 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 go. Like we're busy, busy, busy. We have an endless to-do list, don't we? And there's always something next to move on to. Even when you achieve something, you're already focused on the next goal to tick off. So sometimes getting still in your body, but more importantly, in your mind, can be really confronting
Mm.
and stressful and anxious. It's anxiety inducing for
Inducing.
some. But this is where it's like, okay, you go through that initial resistance, you step through it. It might be a little bit uncomfortable, but then you realize, when you get there, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
that's why stillness is important.
Mm.
And that's what we maybe as a collective are missing.
Mm-hmm. And your yin yoga teacher, I would hope, would help you through those moments as well and
Mm.
guide you through those moments.
Hmm.
The way that we teach yin yoga is all about invitational cues and prompts. In that everything is optional, and in fact, you can leave if you would like to leave. But I'm going to do my best to guide you to stay there and resolve to be still. Which gets me to the next point of yin yoga that I'd love to share with you, which are the four tattvas of yin yoga. And the first three coined by Paul Grilly, and then the fourth one is by Sarah Powers, another one of the pioneers of Yin Yoga. And the tattvas of yin are the truths of yin. So the things that are apparent in all yin yoga poses. And the first tattva is that we find our edge, or we play our edge, as it may also be known as. And what does that mean? It means that when we enter a pose, we're trying to find the edge of that pose where we feel a sensation in the target area of the pose, not where we don't want to feel it. We want to feel it in the target area of the pose. And we don't want to take it over our edge. So we don't want it to feel so intense that we, in our heads, are just fighting against it. We want to find that point where we can feel sensation, but we're actually okay to hold it, which gets us to the next tattva, which is resolve to remain still. Once you find your edge, then we resolve to remain still, or we try to anyway. Now, the thing is, there are a couple of times where stillness will not be still, where we're allowed to move, and that's if our edge has changed. So in the initial entry into a pose, for example, I'll get Emma to hop into a caterpillar pose, or also known as a Paschimottanasana pose in traditional Sanskrit. So this forward fold. So Emma may initially find her edge, and then she will resolve to remain still. The next tattva is to hold the pose for time. But within that tattva, Emma may actually find a new edge. And so therefore, she can fold a little bit more. And so then she moves. But then she holds that again. She finds the stillness, and then she holds for time. So just know that you do have some level of movement. When we say stillness, it's not like you must be still and do not move an inch. There's always a time where you need to move. And that's also when do you move as well? If it becomes injurious, if you have gone over your edge and you need to come back out.
Exactly. And that's what, the teacher does. It's a teacher's role to guide the students to get in tune with the sensations of the body. And this is why Yin Yoga is such an amazing presence activity, because you're in tune with the physical feeling. So then you have the awareness of, oh, whoops, I just went 110%. Let's pull back. Let's go back to that playing the edge. Let's go back to 70% maybe of your, stretch in that pose.
And then the fourth tattva, which Sarah Powers added, was to come out of the pose slowly. So in your Yin Yoga practice, if you've ever done Yin before, or maybe you haven't, but what can often happen, and by often I mean pretty much always, is once you've held a pose for, say, 2 to 4 minutes, you feel quite vulnerable. So, you're working with the connective tissue of the body, the yin tissue of the body. This is the joints, this is the ligaments, this is the fascia. So this is what we're working with within Yin Yoga. And so if you're holding this pose for a long period of time, you need to come out of it slowly, because we don't want to come out of it fast and risk injuring ourselves, because that is something that can happen. So we come out of the pose nice and slowly, and then we experience the magic of the pose. We experience the echo of the pose. And this is what is known as the rebound of the pose. So often when you come out of a pose, what you'll feel is the energy within your body kind of, I always like to say, it goes, and then kind of just finds a new home within your body. And that's why it's important we come out of it slowly, because we can temporarily feel fragile after a pose. And this is a normal feeling. It doesn't last, but it does mean that we need to move slowly out of a pose. So they're the 4 truths of Yin Yoga. Now, let's talk a little bit about the benefits of Yin Yoga. Why would you even want to do Yin Yoga? Like, shouldn't I just go to the gym, or shouldn't I just do flow yoga, or isn't Pilates the thing that I'm supposed to be doing? Let's talk about, what are some of the things you could experience by welcoming in a Yin Yoga practice?
I think the really big one, I mentioned it before, how Yin Yoga really helps me relax. And this whole thing that Yin Yoga gets you into the parasympathetic nervous system. So in our busy, busy world of doing, ticking off to-dos, most of us, a lot of us, are living predominantly in that sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, freeze, fawn, where all those other things like digestion, hormones, all those autonomous things that happen with the body,
Very important things.
very important things that help us be healthy and live well, they're not functioning to their optimum. So when we're in this stress zone, everything is kind of in a bit of a struggle zone. So this is where taking the action of doing a yin yoga practice or any other, relaxation practice too, it can help us get into the parasympathetic nervous system. And that then helps you get into that rest and digest where those systems function better.
Oh, so, I mean, if that is not enough to
Yeah.
practice yin, I don't know what is.
And I mean, it's like everything ripples from there, doesn't it? It's like remembering that every system in the body, in your body, is connected. So when we are feeling more relaxed physically, then this helps the mind. It helps us emotionally. It helps us even deal with the surroundings. It helps us respond better. I mean, the flow-on effect is quite huge when you think about it. It never ends.
Absolutely. And then there's also the, I guess, major physical benefits that come from a yin yoga practice as well. Obviously, if you're thinking about a yin yoga practice, if you've never done yin before, you're probably thinking, oh, it sounds like, a big stretch class. And like, yeah, that probably would be really nice. And especially if you have a lot of yang dominant movement that you do. For example, if you run, if you walk a lot, if you hike, if you go to the gym, if you do Pilates, if you do HIIT, if you do pretty much anything other than yin, it's usually a yang kind of aspect of fitness. Yin can be a really nice thing to add in because it helps you to stretch out your muscles. It helps you to relax the muscles. But a few other cool things that happen to your physical body is because we're working with the joints and because we're actually pulling the joints apart, it actually can increase your bone density, which is this just is a very, very exciting benefit, especially for women who are getting older, like us, we want to make sure that we're keeping our bones nice and dense and nice and strong. So not only is strength training great for bone density, yin yoga training is actually great for bone density too. And you would think, really? Like it's a very passive practice, like, huh? But it's because we're doing it with the muscles relaxed and we're pulling joints apart, is that it's adding stress to the bones and therefore increasing the density of them, which is really exciting.
So amazing.
And then another key physical benefit with yin yoga is working with the fascia. And this is the connective tissue, I guess like some of the connective tissue. The main, I guess, well, I wouldn't say the main, but it's like the netting that goes around all of the bones, all of the muscles, all of the organs. It's everywhere within the body. It's what gives us our shape. And yin yoga has a positive impact on our fascia. It rehydrates our fascia. It keeps it nice and mobile. It keeps it able to slide and move. And this is really important when it comes to fascia. When it's not hydrated, that means it can't slide, it means it can't move, it means you're feeling tight and tense, it means that your posture feels rounded. So when you do yin, all of this is positively impacted. And that's just scraping the surface. Like, we could talk about the benefits of yin for a very, very long time.
It's like just hearing you talk about that, it made me think like how important yin yoga is for our mobility. We need to keep moving, especially as we age, but it's so important, to get up and down, to be able to tie your shoes. I mean, we saw our grandparents lose that mobility in their older years, and it really kind of like zoned in the importance of keeping on exercising. And that's why, our parents are exercising every day and moving their bodies. And, our mum, who just turned 67, she does yin yoga so many times a week. I don't know how many times she's doing yin yoga.
At least once a week, but now I think it's even more.
Yeah.
Because she stacks the Mary Body classes.
Yeah.
She does her Pilates, she does her flow yoga, and then she even does a yin.
Yeah.
So she's kind of getting, she's getting the body resistance training with the Pilates and the yoga flow, but then she's also getting the yin in there, which is not only physical benefits, but the mind benefits as well.
Yes.
Because when we look at yin as well, and now Emma always says this, but yin is like a gateway to meditation. So if you have heard of meditation, if you've been wanting to create a meditation practice, yin can be the gateway to that. Sometimes when you think of meditation and you think, wait, I just have to sit there and breathe for 20 minutes, like that sounds really hard. And
it sounds awful.
Really boring. And like, I don't want to do that. But you've heard of the benefits of meditation, right? That it's really good for the mind. It can make you more calm. It can make you more focused. It can increase your brain activity. It can improve your memory. It can improve the way that you feel love and the way that you're able to connect with people. Like there are many benefits to meditation. So if sitting in stillness isn't your jam, maybe sitting in a swan pose or a caterpillar pose or a square pose or a yin yoga pose of some sort may be your jam. It means that there's something more to focus on than just sitting. It means that you're feeling a sensation in the body, a stretch in the body or tension in the body or compression in the body, and you're able to focus on that instead. And you still receive similar, if not the same benefits from a meditation practice. You still receive those in a yin yoga practice too, which
So
is really,
amazing.
really exciting. And then, you may just find that you love yin, and then you may actually find that you're able to sit in a meditation anyway because you've practiced sitting for so long in
Yeah.
other poses.
Well, I mean, like you are being still in those poses, you're being present with yourself. And I think this is another amazing benefit that, it's a practice of presence. And how often do you find yourself just going through the life and perhaps you're there with your kids and watching them do something, but in your mind, you're thinking about what you're meant to be doing at work tomorrow, or you're thinking about that email you sent yesterday and you did that spelling error or forgot the subject and you're like, why did I do that? Like, my boss is going to think I'm an idiot. But you've got your kids here like playing and they want your attention, but you're somewhere else. Or maybe it's like you're at a dinner with the family and instead of like embracing it, you keep picking up your phone because you've got this habit of picking up your phone and you're scrolling and you actually don't even realize that you're not being present. So yin yoga is a presence practice and it helps us become more aware of our actions and helps us realize, oh my gosh, like I pick up my phone all the time. Like guilty. Me too. Like it's a difficult thing. Like this is the world we're living in. So we literally need to train ourselves to not do these things. And we need to train ourselves to realize how important presence is. Yin yoga is a presence action. It's a presence practice.
And the thing is, like, whenever you do something in a practice, like in a yin yoga practice or a meditation practice or a yoga practice or a Pilates practice, these are mind body connection practices. So they're very different to other forms of movement. I will bold and I'll underline that. These are done with very different intentions. We connect breath with movement. You're encouraged to tune in to how you're feeling. You're encouraged to tune into thoughts that you might be thinking. So these kind of invitations are not always present in, say, for example, a gym scenario. Like when are you doing some bicep curls and then your personal trainer is saying, and just tune into the thoughts that might pop into your mind. That's not what they're usually saying. They usually say, shoulders back, make it nice and slow and controlled. It's all about the movement. It's all about the aesthetics. That's what it's about. They're keeping you safe. It's great that they're doing that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's great that they're doing that. It's important. They're keeping you safe. However, these other movements that we do, these mindfulness practices that we do, like yoga asana flow, yoga asana with our yin, even Pilates, connecting mind body, these offer very different benefits. And that is an awareness of how you are in your life, an awareness of yourself. Are you being present in life? Are you showing up with kindness? Are you showing up with joy? Do you feel joy? And if not, why? 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 Am I doing things that don't bring me joy? All of these important questions are able to kind of show up in your practices and often answers delivered. And therefore you can make shifts in your life. What happens on your mat, you're able to walk off your mat. And that's what Emma was implying with yin yoga being a presence practice. You're being present in your yin practice. You're being present with the sensation you're feeling in your glute. You're being present with the thoughts that are in your mind. That just doesn't happen on the mat because you've practiced it that many times. Then suddenly you go to a coffee with a friend and you're the one sitting there listening and just listening and being there with your friend. Maybe across at the other table, you've got two people and they're just on their phones. I don't know how many times I've seen that before. I've gone out for lunch or dinner and the whole table next to me is on their phones, probably messaging each other. I don't know. What is going on with the world?
Yeah.
Don't you want to be here? And if you're struggling to be here, because it is not easy to be here sometimes, it is so easy to get distracted.
Yeah.
Yin yoga is an amazing practice to welcome in. to see that ripple out into your life. I think that's probably the major benefit.
Yeah,
We don't miss life.
exactly. Oh my gosh. I mean, as we dived into this topic really recently with the teacher training, it really made that so like apparent for me. And
So
so,
clear.
yeah, so clear that what, the way the world is going with technology, like we're grateful for it. It's brought amazing things to all our lives. However, it can be such a distraction from, the love, the relationships, the really important things in our
Mm-hmm.
lives. So it's important that we acknowledge it and maybe be really honest with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like this is the perfect time, as you mentioned, our Yin Yoga teacher training. If Yin Yoga is something you would like to dive into more, if you've practiced it a few times or you've practiced it really consistently and you love the practice of Yin, the next really logical step to kind of dive deeper into Yin itself is to do a teacher training. And just to let you know, these courses that we run that are called teacher training, yes, you end up getting a certificate to be a teacher, but it is so much also about the personal journey that you go on, the deep dive into the practices that you go on. We're practicing together every single week. We're diving deep into these practices.
Mm,
We're diving deep into the philosophy. I want to just reiterate like that the personal growth and development that happens in our
mm,
teacher training courses, it helps you way beyond being a yoga teacher
yeah.
and being able to teach these things. It ripples out into every crease and corner of life
Hmm.
itself. And that really is the exciting thing. I can reflect on every teacher training journey I've been on, and I can see the drastic shifts, the drastic positive shifts that they have made on my life. And I'm so grateful that I kind of jumped into each and every one of those because it's brought us to where we are today.
Yeah.
So our Yin Yoga teacher training is really exciting. It's all online. It's shot in this beautiful set that we're in right here, right now. It's a 75-hour online program, and you'll finish it with a deep understanding of Yin, a deep understanding of how you can bring Yin into your life, not just the practices, but also the philosophies as
Mm.
well. And of course, you'll finish it with a certificate to teach
Yeah,
Yin.
which is very awesome. I think one of the really big things that I received from, going on this journey of creation and, that I learned from Carla, our lead trainer, is this like as a avid practitioner, as a yoga teacher, as a Pilates teacher, it's this idea of functional yoga anatomy. And I think
Mm-hmm.
like I want to share this here because I think it's
Yeah.
really exciting. Like understanding that all our skeletons are different. Like,
Yes.
and if you're with Merrybody, if you're part of Merrybody or you've been part of Merrybody in the past, uh, you know that self-acceptance, that's the backbone of everything we create. That's how we became, how we came to teach online,
Mm-hmm.
really. It was so we could create this self-acceptance practice along with yoga and Pilates. And I feel like this training really like is what's the word? The epitome of that.
Yeah, and it kind of just all pieced together so
Yeah.
beautifully. So the theory that kind of I guess is the ultimate functional Yin Yoga theory that we're using inside our Yin Yoga teacher training is Paul Grilly's functional Yin Yoga, or he calls it functional yoga approach.
Mm.
And this is the idea that if we start to see the body as 14 skeletal segments, so you only need to remember 14 skeletal segments being moved by 10 muscle groups. So only remembering 10 muscle groups. That's all the anatomy you need to remember. 24 things.
That's
Okay.
pretty
So
doable.
not 600 muscles and not 200 bones. No, just 14 skeletal segments being moved by 10 muscle groups. Then you can skillfully learn to adapt the 7 archetypal poses to suit any body. And so that's what we share inside our 75-hour Yin Yoga teacher training. And as Emma said, it is, I guess, the overarching aha moment here is skeletal variation and
Yeah.
how every single skeleton is different, and just how much of a bit of a Dharma moment that was for us, in that we preach and we teach every body is different. All of our differences are, Emma's got different legs to me. Like they look different, but it goes deeper than that. Our skeletons are actually different
Yeah.
as well. And that impacts our mobility. It impacts the way that we get into a pose. It impacts what a pose looks like compared to someone else. So if you've ever done a yoga class and thought, "Oh, like, why can't I look like that? Why can't I get into a back bend where I'm just like this? Or why can't I forward fold like a pancake?" Probably it's your skeleton. And that, my friend, we cannot change. So it is a really big aha moment that it really is, I guess, the one of the very core teachings of how we teach yin yoga. And I do dare say how I would hope most people teach yin yoga
Yeah,
as well, seeing as
exactly.
Paul is one of the pioneers of yin. But it's a very exciting uh, way of not only teaching, but also practicing
Yes.
self-acceptance.
I mean, I think it really has changed the way I'm practicing yin yoga and yoga now.
Mhm.
And I'm so much more, I guess it like helps you just enjoy it so much more, and you become less attached to that end goal of getting your posture looking a certain way,
Mhm.
and realizing that actually what's more important is like what's the posture for? Like what's
What's
the
the
target zone?
function?
What's the function? Instead of getting to a posture that's perfect for Instagram,
Hmm.
which, like, gosh, how ridiculous when you really think about it.
Definitely. So if you're interested in joining us for our next cohort of Yin Yoga teacher training, you can check out all the information over on our website. We'll pop the link somewhere here underneath, up above, who knows, you'll find it. Or reach out to us, ask us questions. If you're
Mm.
interested, just message us and let us know your thoughts, let us know your questions, and we can have a little chat and see if it's right for you. Otherwise, we're pumped. It's a 75-hour online program. It's run over 7 weeks. Everything's pre-recorded in beautiful, high-quality audio quality like this. Thank you, our amazing videographer over here, Kim. He's the best. And we also have live weekly calls as well, where we deep dive into the week's content, and we also do some more yin practices together
Mm.
too, which they're really special. That's where the cohort gets to connect and we get to
Yeah.
go like a little bit deeper.
Yeah, because you might be thinking, oh, online, like I don't know about online
Mm.
learning. I mean, we've been doing online stuff for,
Since 2012.
yeah, I was like, how many years now? Like that's so many
Mhm.
years. So we've been creating online stuff, whether it's ebooks, apps, programs for a long, long, long time. So we've learned a thing or two in how to create a really good course where you're actually engaged and you actually want to. You want to keep watching and you
Mhm.
want to participate. You want to show up to the calls live, or if you're busy,
The
of course, the
replays.
replays. It's something we're very, very, we care a lot about that,
Mhm.
because I think we watch too many bad online programs and we're like, oh,
And you don't watch them.
you just don't want to do
Yeah,
them.
you're like, this sucks, so I'm not going to do it. No crummy courses
No,
is our mantra.
Yes, for online course creation. I mean, our actual Mary Body mantra is,
Always remember that you are amazing just as you are right here and right now. And if you don't believe that now, well, you will very soon, especially if you do our Yin Yoga teacher training. But reach out if you've got questions. It's been a joy sharing just a little smidge of the Yin Yoga magic. There is so much more to share,
Yes.
so much more to learn. And we look
We don't
forward.
want to give it all
No,
away though.
we
We could
cannot.
like just do a whole replay of the whole course
But we're
and
not
be
going to
here
do
for
that.
74 hours.
But we'll see you either in class or we'll see you on your mat or your meditation seat. Have a beautiful day.